We are not meant to live like accidents. We are meant to live like masterpieces that are very intentional about where we are going, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and who we want to impact. When you live in blindness for long, you start believing in your own excuses. For the Bible readers, if you've seen the man at Bethsaida, you know, I've been waiting for people to come and push me in, but by the time they come, the water has already stirred up, or the angel has already disappeared. Like, and then, ofune ntondo, like in your life, because then you're thinking, I was waiting for my uncle to give me capital, but my uncle said he can't. You know, I was waiting for my boyfriend. You know, my boyfriend promised me that he's going to give me this, and then he didn't give it to me. So you develop excuses, and then you start blaming everyone for your own failure. Why? Because he didn't push me, because he didn't connect me, because he didn't love me enough, and then you blame your parents. They didn't take me to good schools. Manga, we went to the worst schools. Look where we are. Look what the Lord has done. Look where we are. Some of us went to schools that we can't even mention names. I think some of them were even temporary. Or some of them, when you look at them, you're like, wow, this is where you... But I still love and respect my schools because they made me who I am. And God used them as a vessel for me to become the person that I have been. So there's nothing. You cannot tell me any excuse. I can't buy any excuse. That what, because I'm a girl and you know, I'm in this industry... Who put you there? If you are there, then you must be able to function at the same level the men are functioning in that industry. I want you to check your circle of influence and the circle of your friends. If there is anyone that is making you hungry, you know there is someone who unsettles us. You know the rich aunties? They get into a circle, and then everyone is looking at them as if they are going to steal their spotlight. No one is stealing your spotlight. Grow up. Whenever you think, now she's more beautiful and she has come into our circles, no, glow. Glow the more. Be you. Okay? No one is taking your glow. No one is taking what is supposed to be yours. They're also living in their own, and they're not willing to dim their shine to accommodate you. No one. No one is willing to dim. No. Because when you become blind, then you want others to dim their shine so that they can accommodate your blindness. No. No one is going to accommodate your blindness. So, fight for yourself. Open your eyes. If you're a prayerful person, pray that God will help you take to spaces like these spaces that will help you open your eyes, that you will get tired of living an average life. That you will get tired that if you're a girl here, you will never get married to an average man. And if you're a man here, you will never get married to an average woman. Why? Because you will have decided to grow. You will have decided to surround yourself with growth. You will have decided to see, and you can clearly see. You know how your friends tell you, but now you changed. No, it's because now you can see. Do you see the difference? But now you changed because then you started without complaining. And by the way, this happens even in marriage. Some of us get married because we are blind. Though not me, you heard my story last time. Some of us, we looked like this. And we were like, no, nothing is happening by mistake. But there are so many people that just slide into a marriage. Oh, because I got pregnant, so I was told I must marry the man that got me pregnant. You slide into that marriage. You didn't go into it, but you just slid into it. And then one thing becomes another. You have 5 or you have 4 children or 3 children, and all of a sudden now you're starting to speak up about what you don't like, and then and maybe your wife is saying, but you didn't complain at first. Why are you complaining now? It's because you can see. The moment you become uncomfortable with something, it's because the shells have fallen off your eyes, and now you can see clearly. And you're like, no. This level of disrespect, I can't stand it. But why? Some of us stand a lot of disrespect because we are blind. And we have been surviving in blindness for so long, so now we even don't know the difference between being blind and seeing. But let me tell you, the day you see like this, you will never want to blink. The day you see, you will never want It's like the day you make a huge sums of money. Do you think your brain goes back? Like, there is a way you feel like, yeah, I've been cheating myself. I can make a lot more money. As in, the day you test something good is the day you'll be like, where have I been? Where has this thing been all my life? The day you drive your own car, Wanji, that day is different. It is. And let me tell you, the day you drive a car that you have bought with your own money, that will also hit different. As in, you don't fear whether someone is going to come to come and claim it, whether they gave it to you because they just wanted to make, a point or something like that. But you're like, you know what? It is in my names. It was bought by my money, and I am here driving it. Let me tell you, your life will change. When you hear someone saying that I have taken so long a time without sitting on a boda, it's not because they're bragging. Sometimes it's because of where they come from and what God has taken them through and the things they have gone through in their lives. And they're like, you know what? It has been growth after growth. And now a time comes where you can decide where to go, when to go, what time to go. Someone calls you for a meeting and you're like, I'm not available that time, but I can be available this time. So you're not in panic or a hurry that says, you know what, let me do this so that I can get there on time. You're like, no, it's not because I am braggant, but I think I have attained a certain level of growth that, and I want to be other people to actually come to the same sphere. So I want you to know that when you open your eyes, blinking will become so hard. Because everything will be, it's like, have you ever, I had an issue with eyes, but I didn't know I had an issue with my eyes. So I got this gig with La Paix, and then I went and they gave me glasses. Of course, they did their measurements and everything. Do you see this? Which distance? How many of us have made those tests? The eye. So I did those. And then after that, I went and picked my glasses. Let me tell you, everything in Kampala had color. Like, I didn't know which world I was living. Like, literally, I was passing by some billboards, and I was like, was it yellow? Was it? I was like, and by the way, I discovered that actually is it long-sighted? I think long-sighted. All along, but I didn't know. So every time I looked at the TV, I would see blurry things. Every time I looked at, billboards, I would see faded colors. But everything seemed like, white was white, blue was blue, yellow was yellowing. And I was like, what is this now? That day your eyes open. And I want you to just place your hands on your head. Pray to whichever God that you know. Place your hands on your head and just pray that you will have a complete eyesight, a vision of your life. Take a minute and be very vivid about what you are praying about, because when your eyes open, you will never go back to being the same person that you have always been. And while we are doing that, some of us are asking ourselves, how is this going to happen? Some things happen in our lives as a reconstruction of our lives. As a reconstruction of our lives. You're going to meet certain circumstances that are going to make you weak, jealous, insecure, and while you are being shaken to your core, your eyes are actually opening. Okay? So it's not going to happen smoothly. No. It's going to happen in very uncomfortable circumstances. And sometimes you will go back to a place where everything goes, as in you are with nothing, in order for you to realize that I thought I was somewhere, but indeed I am nowhere. You work, yes, you earn, yes, you have the money, you get it at the end of the month, but you get to the mid-month and you remain with zero, and there is no one to call to actually bail you out. And then you're like, you know what, I really must rescue myself. I can no longer depend on my salary. I need to open my eyes and be able to add on to the streams of my income. And that is, sometimes I pray that you hit the dead end. I have made that prayer. I know that it's a hard one. But sometimes before we hit that dead end, some of us will never know that there is anything better than where we are right now. But the moment you hit the dead end, the moment your uncle does not come through with the help, that is when you're like, man's in food day. I have to think of another way. And you are your own savior. You are your own rescue. As in, you muscle up, you toughen up, and you face the situation. So I want you to go ahead and think about this. A visionless life. Where you have been visionless. Where it has put you. Some of you at right now, places where you're just begging to survive. Begging to survive. Some of you are in places where you cannot speak up about what is hurting you. Because you are codependent. According to God's creation, we are supposed to be interdependent. That one is an arm, another is an eye, another is an ear, another. So we depend on each other, but not one person just depending on one another. You are not supposed to operate like that. So that is why you don't say what's hurting you. So many of you are in toxic marriages, toxic relationships. So many of you are in toxic work relationships, okay? And you can't even make way. You can't decide otherwise. Why? Because the situation has made you codependent. It has made you a beggar, and you cannot survive without whichever person that you think you are relying on. And that is not how life is supposed to be. I know some of these things will make a lot more sense 2 years from now when you look back and you're like, this is what Bahati used to talk about. But until then, I am praying for you. Okay? That people will disappoint you. That you will learn. I know, today I'm just making wrong prayers. That people will disappoint you. That a job will frustrate you so that you can see that you actually have even a bigger capacity and a limitless kind of life, that you can do a lot more in your life. So when disappointment comes, don't say, that you know what, I am dead. No, you are resurrecting. You are resurrecting. Some of us have been buried for so long, but a time is going to come when we come up. And I want you to apply this to business, okay? Because there are accidents in businesses. There is lack of acceleration in your own life. Let me tell you, acceleration is real. Acceleration is? God can give you a life, or you create a life that has been multiplied. I told you I did everything late. I went to school late. I went back to school late. While others were 19, I was 29, clocking 30. That is when I enrolled back to campus. Okay? And you're studying with 18 years old. You know how hectic that can be? They have a lot of jazz. They have a lot of, they even don't know what they want in life, some of them. And then, I get married late. And sometimes some people come to me and they're like, you know what, I feel like, life has come to a dead end. I'm 24 years, it's too late for my life. And I am like, my friend, you don't know how old I was when I got married. But when you make the right choices, when you live with an open sight, when God helps you and you live with an open sight, even what seems like late is accelerated, and on looking back, you don't know whether it was late or not late. When I look at the number of years in my marriage, the number of children that I have, clearly I think some people are like, she's pregnant again? What, even next year? What is she up to? And I'm like, leave me alone. Mind your own business. I am minding mine. What is your problem? And so one time my sister told me that, A child every year. Literally, I don't think it was a child every year, but it looked like a child every year. Because I think in 4 years I had 3 children. So where does that place me? And C-section. And I was like, I'm not giving up. Today I asked my husband whether he needs another baby. And I was like, no.